Four people have died while attempting to cross the English Channel to the UK from France. The French Coast Guard confirmed the deaths after a boat capsized and said 63 migrants had been rescued during a crossing attempt overnight. The deaths were first reported by the French newspaper La Voix du Nord and the broadcaster BFM TV, who cited local authorities. Joining me now, I'm very pleased to say, good friend to the programme, Stephen Woolfe, Director of the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity. Stephen, welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick.
We learnt yesterday, and we were principally going to be talking about this, that the French police were photographed standing by as migrants leave the Normandy beach for Britain. Obviously, that's a key issue in itself. But when we then read that from the beaches of France, 4 people died during a migrant crossing attempt in the English Channel, and that the police are also just standing by and watching, how do you react to that?
Well, I react with utter disgust, dismay and despair that after years in which we saw, if you remember, Nick, in 2021, 27 people dying in the channel, in which we had our Prime Minister at the time saying that we should stop the boats and prevent people smugglers. That was Boris Johnson. We then had 5 people die in April this year, and we had our Prime Minister saying we must stop the boats and prevent the people smugglers from succeeding. And we see this once again. And this is a wholesale failure, not only of the Prime Ministers of our country, but certainly the President of France. I've said for many, many years, he has blood on his hands. He and his government, through failing to stop those boats from leaving France and allowing the police, are aiding and abetting the people smugglers from achieving their game, which is winning more clients and getting more money for themselves. But they're also aiding and abetting the potential deaths of these people. They are a disgrace. They should hang their heads in shame, but they won't, because they'll sit alongside those in this country that are preventing any policy from preventing those boats from coming across, any form of deterrence, and simply saying that we should have routes that allow those people to come across openly. They should be ashamed of themselves today.
Do you think, given the new Prime Minister Keir Starmer's emphasis on relying on cooperation, and that will mean cooperation will France, has a reasonable chance of success of achieving his goal, ultimately, to stop the illegal boats by tackling the gangs?
Well, I always hope with optimism that there will be some leader in some country that is capable of dealing with the people smugglers and stopping the boats coming over. But when I look, having been monitoring this for since 2014, that I have no faith whatsoever in the Labour government, no faith in Keir Starmer being able to stop the boats coming across. His idea of cooperation is simply divided into 2 areas. One is that we hope by getting closer to the European Union, we can have some sort of intelligence community and police cooperation that stops the people smugglers further down the line. To be fair, we've been doing that for many, many years. And the second is that we're going to still continue providing money to the French government for border protection. And we have embedded people already in Calais from our own security forces and our own police forces and our own border agency to do that. And that's failed. The key point for people smugglers is that as long as they know that they can get people into the United Kingdom, that when they arrive, they'll never be returned, that these people have an opportunity to get amnesty, which is what the Labour Party is about to do, and allow them to stay, their business model is a massive success. They can charge people money before they go. They can have them as indentured slaves when they arrive in the UK, working whichever businesses they determine those people should work in until they pay their debt off. And there is always the threat of harm to their families back home if they stop paying. We are a disgrace. Today is a disgrace. We should all be ashamed of what they're doing, and politically those in the political class and the civil service and those who are supporting the lack of deterrence should also be the same for that today.
Just a final word. Do you believe that whatever the rights and wrongs of the Rwanda policy, that it is like a white flag to the gangs and those seeking to come into this country by getting rid of that policy? We have no deterrent now, do we?
No, I mean, Rwanda was not the perfect policy, but it certainly had some impact on the mentality of those coming over here. We know that in Ireland, there were those who'd left the United Kingdom to move to Ireland because they were frightened of actually having to be returned to their countries or going via Rwanda. So there was some small element of deterrence. And we are aware that the people smugglers, through recent reports in the press, that they're delighted that Keir Starmer would work. And we only have the evidence of the United States when Joe Biden removed much of the previous president's rules on the borders in the United States. 3.5 million came over, and they're making over $1 billion a year.